Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of this Tuesday thing we do. It's there's some kind of clever pun thing referencing a fruit and a nickname for wrestling, and also the taste of it, but I forget what it is. Oh no, did you freeze on me while you're supposed to be doing the Kate, what's the worst possible time for you to freeze? You're supposed to bail me out on my terrible intro. Kate, blink if you are all right. Kate, blink if you are being held against your will. Oh God, they killed her. Oh no, Kate's frozen again. That's terrible. Hey, it's Alex. Kate will be here soon. We're going to talk about NXT. Your NXT post show for the 10th of June, 2025. Kate is so shocked by the new name for Mariah May that she's gone catatonic. We'll be talking about the new name for Mariah May. Spoiler alert, it ain't great. We'll be talking about two major title matches tonight for two different people who are getting title matches on their first real contention in the company. And we'll be talking more about a return from a guy who we thought might not be here anymore. Just a lot of stuff. But first, get in your super chats. I'm gonna say get in your humper chats, but if Kate for some reason doesn't come back to the stream, I have no access to humper chats, so I won't say get in your humper chats. Get in your super chats, and then we will read them. We were thinking reptile puns in honor of Mr. Iguana, but I don't want that to be too I don't want that to be too limiting for you folks, but reptile puns. Let's do it. Reptile puns, okay? Yes, Dark State finally got to Kate. They got to us. No one is safe. No one is safe. Here we go. Here we go. Give me reptile puns. I want it. This is a little build up for, it's the first show after Worlds Collide, but it's also a build up to Great American Bash and Evolution. We got a little non-tournament tournament that's going to set up who's going to face Jacy Jayne at Evolution. So we're moving through the summer. Four-door soup, as is tradition. If Kate somehow leaves the stream, or if I expect her in as an inside gag, I'll just keep this bar through the middle of my face for the entire show until she gets back. So four-door soup, yes, this layout is not changing until she gets back here, which I assume she's back. She's going to be back here. She told me that StreamYard booted her. I don't know why it would take her so long to get back, but we'll see. We'll see. So not even Oba Femi is immune to the dangers of the parking lot. He's walking in and he's attacked, blindsided by Jasper Troy, or as we call him in the SGS Discord, 3 chains, because he wears one large chain around his neck and then carries another 2 chains. He's 3 chains with a Z. But he blindsides him, and he choke slams him onto the windshield of a car. Real glass, Crimea River. So Oba Femi's been taken out ahead of time. Will he compete in the main event tonight and defend his NXT championship against the upstart Jasper Troy? Spoiler alert, he did do that. Yeah, Kate's internet got scaled back again, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really sure. So we started out with the North American title match. Ethan Page looked fantastic in the Fatal 4-Way at Worlds Collide. And he won, he retained, and the deal was that he got his next defense was going to be against Sean Legacy from Evolve, who won a match to become the #1 contender a few weeks ago. So we're ready. We're ready to have him back. He's ready to do this. Kate is here. Kate, hi. You're here. You made it back.
Yard kicked out Joel and Jeremy off of In the Weeds, like at the end of their episode. It just
nice.
Just the whole thing went kaput. I just thought because, nobody wants to hear Joel Pearl talk about wrestling, and
I mean I would just think that I just thought maybe that StreamYard had good taste, but no,
exactly.
if they kicked you out, they have terrible taste.
Oh, thank you.
There we go. We're back.
What happened? Did we even start the show? Did you even tell people that this was the NXT Sour Grabs post show for June 10th?
I mean, I did, and I also
told
them
to get in their super chats and Humper chats.
I did tell them that if you somehow didn't come back, not to send in Humper chats because I have no access to the document. But now you're back, so now, guys, you can send in Humper chats again. Okay, send in those Humper chats. Also super chats. Also, I already told them in honor of Mr. Iguana, it's reptile puns.
Reptile puns. Did you tell them to subscribe to FightfulSelect.com?
I didn't tell them that yet. You're so good at that. I was waiting, hoping in vain that you would return. So now you can do that spiel.
Just to remind people that $5.99 will get you all the scoops that you could ever want, and you can get it first. You can get it accurately, and you can stay up to date on things like Danhouse's contract status, which is coming to an end soon. Or if you were like, what is Mariah May's new name going to be? We had it first before she changed her handle on social media. FightfulSelect.com, people. And you get me and Alex talking about Money in the Bank, yapping away. If you're like, I get enough Sean Ross Sapp in my days. What if there was an alternative post show for WWE, PLEs, and pay-per-views? We got you covered. Mm-hmm. We got you covered back there. But if you're I have all these questions that I want Sean Ross Sapp directly to answer. Mm-hmm. If only there was some sort of Q&A. Bada bing, bada boom. We got one. We got.
Yeah, you got a lot of it. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Good. We are talked about Oba Femi getting choke slammed into the windshield of a car by Jasper Troy, Real Glass, Crimea River, and then we talked briefly, as I was just getting started, with Ethan Page defending his North American Championship against Sean Legacy, who just you can send him through that transfer portal or whatever you call that from Evolve to NXT. He's ready. He's seasoned. You can bring him over. That's fine. He's good. We're ready to go with him.
I got to question a few things about this NXT parking lot. Okay. I need to know if there's been an exorcism performed there of any sort. Have they even tried to make this a safer place for their WWE superstars, Alex? They got to beef up security. I have a lot of questions about the cameramen who just filmed this and don't seem to ever flag down help. What is wrong with you people? Where is empathy in today's world?
Hire less cameramen and more security for the parking lot.
Listen, and I'm talking real deal security. I'm not talking about college campus security. And I'm not talking about, no offense, a bunch of indie talent that's only there for a minute and a half. And they can't even grasp the rules of security in that time because they're independent wrestlers, not security guards. And then they just move on. So anyway, I just feel like Thank God Oba Femi's okay. But I have to wonder, where are the priorities of WWE when, I mean, it has been rampant for years at this point?
Yeah.
That we as a society aren't more outraged by the fact that this multi-billion-dollar company is taking no precautions around these constant attacks in the parking lot. And what does it say about I got to shoot on him, man. I'm shooting on him. Who is teaching these superstars to be such sneaky sneaks? The only thing they know how to do is take out people backstage and in the parking lot. What are we teaching these kids?
Also, yes, think of the children, and also think of the rental cars. Won't somebody please think of the rental cars and the rental car companies? Won't somebody please consider Hertz in all of this? Consider Avis, Enterprise, these rental car companies. Think of all the money they stand to lose. I mean, I'm not one to speak up for billionaires, but think of all the money they stand to lose, Kate, on all these damaged windshields. Anyway, it's fine. Let's just move on. Yeah, Ethan Page looked fantastic at Worlds Collide.
He's great. Yeah, really that was a really great match.
It is absolutely a crutch for super fun high flyer, no water in the pool, dead. Like that's happened so many times. Most of the first round of the Cruiserweight Classic was super fun high flyer, no water in the pool, dead. Like that was most of the first round of the Cruiserweight Classic, and they haven't gotten any new ideas since. So Sean Legacy tries for a 450. Whoops, no water in the pool, immediately into a twisted grin, which works really well for this particular match because it means Ethan Page suckered him into it. He's a cerebral heel. He's got a great finisher to come out of that. But the problem is when I see it 100 times over the course of, let's say, 3 weeks, it cheapens it. So when you actually use it correctly,
I mean, let's be real. The most correct way to do that is Samoa Joe walking away. That's the most correct way. Yep. So I'll always have love for that spot because in some ways it's a tribute to the legacy of Samoa Joe, in that you should just let high flyers hang themselves out to dry in that way. But you're right in that it's a very, very, very common spot. Sean Legacy is fantastic. Ethan Page is great, but I've felt that and known that for a long time. I like him having the title to do things like this, like to make younger talent look like they could be the superstars of tomorrow, Alex. I think he's good. Sean Legacy is ready to rock and roll. Can we please sign him? This men's division needs it. So
the Evolve stuff, I know they're not fully under contract, but when they start making TVs for NXT, it's like on a per appearance thing. Like that's so he's not so like he's not signed to a lower tier deal. He's like they're just per appearance stuff.
He's still working the independent, so that's
right.
That is what I would assume. I can't say that I know that for sure, but it certainly seems that way.
I mean, listen, you
pay NXT contracts are not
NXT is like $50,000 a year. Like it's not. you can make more working retail if you get you know what? Come on. Sign
associate managers are right. You know what I mean? Like
they're on a per bump rate, $20 per bump for the Evolvers.
That's
yeah. So he looked really good, but immediately after he won, Ethan Page was attacked by Ricky Saint Starks, who was allowed to keep his name, his first name. It'll be important that I mention that later. But he beats the hell out of Ethan Page and follows him backstage, and apparently the brawl continued until Ava talked to him. He has a big tape thing, like they had to do a full tracheotomy. Like if your trachea is bruised, do you need a Band-Aid? Like
this was confusing to me too.
I would think that there may be like he may have to like use ice or something, but his trachea was bruised, but it looked like somebody had to like cut open his windpipe, and that was like this surgical dressing. In which case, yeah, you're not cleared. You have a giant hole in your throat. Like, why don't you go and get one of those things? Because he couldn't talk to Ava. He couldn't talk. He needs one of those things. The Ned from South Park. He needs one of those so he could. Ricky Saints.
Yes, Ava. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs one of those. So, like, I want to. Ricky Saints cutting a promo, sounding like Ned from South Park would be really great. You know what I mean?
The revolution will be televised.
The revolution will be televised. That'd be good. But Ava's like, go home until you are cleared. And I was like, or, you know what? Spitballing here. You took the title off of him so he could hang around and feud longer with Adam Page, but this time while he can't talk,
and
he's Ricky Starks.
That was a feud I would have loved
Ethan Page. With Ethan Page, there's too many pages.
Jimmy
Page,
too many
I don't know.
Cages.
There's too many pages. There's too many cages. Okay, so you had him hang out here so he could feud with Christian Cage. And sorry, I keep doing that. Ages, all the things that rhyme. So you had him hang out here so he could feud longer with Ethan Page, but not be able to talk while doing it. It's Ricky Starks we're talking about, one of the best promos in wrestling. You took away the thing that he is best at, and also kept him in NXT after you took the title off of him and he was champion for 6.5 minutes. So I just thought when he lost the title to Ethan Page, that was like okay, we won't see him for a month, and then all of a sudden SmackDown. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I didn't think he was coming back for one last match, also while he can't talk. So
it's just a very weird usage of him. And this is another one where I'm like, it's probably not so much on Shawn Michaels, because maybe he's just getting a call up after like SummerSlam or something. Like they want to do the trilogy with Ethan Page proper, and then he goes up or something.
Yeah.
But like when Ricky Saints showed up in NXT, I was not like sick. I can't wait till he faces Shawn Spears and Ethan Page only. Like Ethan, of course, and like Shawn Spears is great, so I'm actually really glad they did that. Mm-hmm. But like, Ricky Saints versus Javon Evans, your mind goes to other places.
Ricky Starks shows up, and you're like, I really hope they change his last name to one from a football team near where he is from, and then I hope he has one match with Ridge Holland. God, give it to me. I need it. And then he takes the title off of Shawn Spears and loses it to Ethan Page in 6.5 minutes. And then he has a kayfabe injury where he can't talk. And then he has a bunch more matches with Ethan Page, and we might see him fully signed to Raw or SmackDown by Christmas. That was the thing that you told me that off air in those exact words. Yeah, that was the thing that you wanted.
Like voice memos. I would just be like, oh man, I can't wait.
Oh, just think like those people who like when somebody jumps from one to the other, they like do a tweet of like blank versus all these people. The first one, it was just like, you said it to me, and you were like, oh my God, Ricky Starks in NXT versus Ridge Holland versus Shawn Spears versus Ethan Page twice, and then nothing. You were like, that's it. That's all I want.
That's the run.
That's the run, man. That's all I want. And I'm out.
Oh, he did also face Lexis King. So
I forgot. You know what? Mea culpa. Because I usually find Lexis King matches so memorable that I forgot about that one. But anyway,
the important part is it keeps the I faced former AEW talent thing so at the forefront.
It does.
But my bigger thing is, even other than the matches, because I really like the second match with Ethan, especially. The first one was a really good match at 9 a.m. or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
But it's the lack of him talking. Like, I feel like the most memorable promo he's been able to give was the first day he showed up, and they just didn't really do anything with it. His title reign was so short, they didn't really do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
So This is Santa Claus, if you're listening. Like Ricky Stark Saints being used to his potential on a television show, on a weekly episodic American television wrestling show would be really, really nice. I think that happens on the main roster. I think this was a pit stop until they can come in with the proper creative, but this company also does some really weird things. So I don't know. But my guess is they were like, hey, HBK, you get him for a little bit. And he was like, okay, we will plan for specifically a little bit. Then. You know what I mean? That handicaps his time there. But I just thought it would feel like a bigger deal to have him on this brand. That being said, Ethan Page having the workhorse title as the heel he is right now, locked in. Like that feels really good to me because they are in desperate need. They need it now, ironically. I think they have one in Mariah May, but they kind of need it on the women's side too of you got to have some ring generals in there to help this younger talent come along. That's what Ethan Page is. He's really, really versatile. We saw it tonight, what we got versus what we got in the 4-way, like, and what we've gotten versus Ricky Saints and what we get with people that are bigger than him. Like, I really like that about Ethan Page. And Shawn Legacy looks like $1 million in this. So this was like productive title defense. You know what I mean? Like, we need more of those. But like running it back with Ricky Saints again, I look forward to the match because they're great at it. But I'm just like, it's just a weird use of Ricky.
Yeah.
But at least it's a use. That's more than I can say for the past year and a half before that.
Yeah. Jane Beard talking about your loss of internet, saying that Kate's evil twin attacked her internet. Damn you, Katie Liz!
To the moon, Katie Liz.
Yeah. Also, when you paused, you were catatonic.
Was it like?
No, it was like this.
What are those?
And so Meet Norma said this. Kate looks like what I do when served Brussels sprouts. And you did look kind of mad. So yeah.
You should have seen my face last night when I was watching CM Punk say go to Saudi Arabia.
What? No. So Ben Snefter says yes, I believe that was real glass on the rental car that was damaged. Which again, think of the rental cars.
Think of the rental cars. The car shields can only do so much.
Yep, that's true. So we got Jacy, Jayne, very upset with all of the people who wants her title, and I'm like, this is you're the women's world champion. You know what I mean? People are going to want your title. You know what I mean? It's weird. But then Lainey shows up, Lainey Reid from last week, and she slaps her. And Jacy is like, I see. Trying to take a page out of my book because I slapped Stephanie Vacqua. You think that you can slap me and I'll give you a title match too. Very cute. And then Lainey does it again. And then she's like, okay, give me that bitch. I want to fight her.
It was good.
So next time, whenever Lainey Reid becomes champion, somebody's going to slap her 3 times. That's just the rule now.
Yes.
You have to, in order to get the first title shot from this person, you have to slap them one more time than the person who slapped them.
You ever see those videos that are like, double it and give it to the next? When it's like, do you want $20 or would you like to double it and give it to the next? That's what slapping people is.
Yeah. How high does the number get on those videos? Pretend I haven't seen them. How high does the number get on those videos?
I don't like. It depends on the video. A lot of them are very fake. But
yeah, I'm assuming most.
Usually, once you get like into, I think, $80 territory, like $80 enough territory, people are kind of like, maybe I'll take one. Yeah, because I get that. If someone offers you $10 or the next person gets $20, I'm like, move on to the next guy. You know,
it all depends on the next person, though.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people I would not want to have double what you are offering me. But if the next guy is like, down on his luck and needs money to pay the rent this month, yeah, absolutely double it and give it to that guy.
That's a good
But if
point.
it's somebody who's, I don't like, then I don't want to double it and give it to them.
I saw a fantastic video that made fun of all of the person on the street type videos that you get and how fake probably most of them are, but it was a good time.
Yeah.
But anyway, all that to say,
yeah,
double slaps and give it to the next. You know what I mean?
Right. Tom Valley saying Ricky versus Rusev next. Alistair, Penta. Well, not next, but eventually, possibly. All those things are very possible.
I like that Tom was like, we're going to just give Alex a good day and put Ricky versus like 3 of his absolute favorites.
Also, Ricky only gets to fight former AEW guys.
Correct.
That's it. Ethan Page, Lexis King, Miro, Malachi, Penta, Ray Phoenix. That's it. Those are the Cody. That's it. CM Punk.
Cody Punk.
But only in Saudi Arabia. Those are the only places. That's the only place and the only people he gets to fight is Ricky Starks only has to fight those people. I think that's what he's saying by fighting, Lexis King
and Jayne.
All the XCWs. Yeah.
And Mariah May.
JW Pringle says, amazing Alex, Killer Kate, powerful Papa, Paul, Elizabeth, all the SGS. Anyone else completely sell out tonight? Much love, y'all. No one else completely sold out. Someone lost a name and got a different one. So remember last week how it made no sense that that Izzy Dame attacked Brooks Jensen, our favorite, the Beach, with a chair at the blue, and she's like, he's not committed to the Culling.
He was always one step out of here, 1 foot out the door. We were like, no, he's not.
and then Sean Spears is like, he holds his hands like this, is like, yes, I can see. Very good. Let's go. And so then we got a little vignette, a little
vignette.
We got one of those tonight, and it was Izzy Dame presenting her case for why she took out Brooks Jensen, and it was the stuff we were joking about in the chat, which is that he wore like a pink polo shirt
polo shirt.
He
wore. Keep on wearing his pink polo shirt.
Yeah.
He's gonna keep on. I'm sorry, it's a banger. It has to be done.
There was that one time where he was at ringside for a match and wore a pink polo shirt, and we were like, that doesn't seem right. I mean, everybody else is out there in the black pleather, and he's like, oh no, pink polo, we're good. And I just thought,
sorry, I appreciate fashion, he said.
Yeah, I mean, like, but did you happen to notice there's an alligator right here over the breast pocket? That means it's high fashion. Also, tribute to Bret Hart. So, everyone does tributes to Bret Hart. You know what I mean?
Of course.
This was actually the real reason she gave to as to why he didn't fit in, and he was half-assing his way in the culling by not wearing shirts that matched everybody else's vibe. And I was like, all right, well, I mean, if that was, I mean, kudos to the editing team for going back and finding all of that. But I don't think that was they weren't like doing like, this wasn't like, they weren't breadcrumbing us. We're like, hey, this week, wear the pink polo shirt. Don't worry, it's all going to make sense in 2 months. I don't think they were doing that. But it is funny that was the reason they actually gave. And Sean Spears is like, I trust your judgment completely. And Nico Vance is like, you got rid of Brooks Jensen. Thank you. It's like, no problem. I have my eye on a few other people around. So I guess we'll see where this goes. I don't know what any of this is.
Shout out to definitely real Bret Hart being in the chat.
Bret Hart
who
is here.
Buried Vince McMahon, as one should, by the way. First of all, thank you for watching. And thank you for hanging out in the Discord
Mhm.
because this was definitely not the plan, and they clearly had nothing for this.
Yeah.
If you are telling a story that someone is half-assing being in a stable, the reason they're half-assing it is they're not willing to go to the lengths that you are to inflict damage on your opponent. That's the way that story's told. We've done it a lot of times. Was Wheeler Yuta fully in until he put the bag over Danielson's head? You know what I mean? Like things like that. So, or was willing to like turn fully right on his mentor. So there's like all of these in-ring ways that you can tell that story, and when you cheapen out, it's like usually that's for me as a wrestling fan. I really like that story. I think that's fun. Because it's an in-ring based one and it is violent, which are my favorite things. But he wore a different color shirt. I know that's how they did Survivor Series for years, was like, what t-shirt are you? So I understand the significance of it. And I also know that in New Japan you receive your like shirt when you graduate from a young lion into your stable. But the pink polo isn't quite the same significance as that. So I feel like this is just punishing Brooks Jensen for expressing himself through the art of fashion. And I don't think it's fair that fashionable people like Brooks Jensen are punished like how you and I are with our incredible senses of fashion.
Right. Jambeard says, so Izzy is a fashion hater? Call Breeze and Dango.
Ooh. Now, them in that stable, now we're talking. Like, the Culling with the two of them.
Breeze is still on up, down, down all the time.
Yeah.
Basically, TNA is basically NXT's NXT. They're both basically under contract. You owe it to us to run the fashion police back one more time. Come on.
Make it happen.
Let's get it done.
What if it was Brooks Jensen and the two of them at a stable? I'm here for it.
Alpha Bill says, no Sean Spears haircut equals out of the group. Nico Vance and Sean Spears not only go to the same barber, they pointed to the same picture on the wall.
Yeah.
Like, you know, those guys are
same lookbook for those two.
So we got the Culling versus Briggs and Inamura. It was like Briggs got color.
Yeah.
His lip, upper lip busted, I think is what it was, or a bloody nose or something. He was so distracted by Inamura completely decleating Sean Spears that Nico Vance took advantage of Josh Briggs being like, hey, my partner's pretty good, huh? Like then he got hit with the Dominator, with the old Farouk Dominator by Nico Vance. And Briggs and Inamura lost, and the Culling won. So I guess this is setting up the Culling for, I don't know, but I know what this is not setting up Briggs and Inamura for, because they're really angry, and then they get they run up on in the locker room by Casey Navarro and the former Top Dollar AJ Francis, who clown on them for a little bit, and then Elijah / Elias / his dead brother Ezekiel come in, and he comes in and he's like, hey, you guys, if you guys didn't get involved and against all odds, then I would be the champion right now. It's like, we got to go talk to the real champion, so we're going to leave. And then a match is made later when they interview Trick Williams backstage, a 6-man tag featuring Trick Williams and high class, first class. No, high rise and first class. Not first rise and high class. Those are different things. First class, Francis and Navarro versus Elijah and two guys who lost a tag team match this week. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to set up them as the backup for Elijah next week, wouldn't it be better if they were coming off a win rather than a loss? And I know that's not, you want the Culling to be winning matches, I guess, right now, because it proves that they don't need Brooks Jensen. at the same time, I think the more immediate need is for Elijah to be like, hey, you know who my backup's going to be for this 6-man tag? These two losers. Like, that never looks good when you're writing things for people. So I would say try to do that less.
I also feel like there's a lot of times in wrestling where I'm like, I don't think these two teams should be facing each other because they both need wins, or these two opponents should be facing each other because they both need wins. The Culling absolutely needed a win. They've looked like a very ineffective cult to this point, and the story is that I think that they don't need Brooks Jensen to be successful. And if you're going to invite other people into the fold, you should be, winning things. But Briggs and Inamura, like, oh, awesome. Inamura's back. And then they just lose? That kind of sucks. And, I just, as far as Elijah showing up, I just think of Kevin Owens in times like these. And then I tweet about it from the Fightful account. But I really like this. I don't watch a lot of TNA. I don't pretend to. But the pairing of Casey Navarro and AJ is really good. And I feel like so much of AJ being successful is kind of just getting out of the way of yourself and letting him talk a bunch of shit. Like he has all of the charisma that he needs to be successful, especially in an environment like TNA. I think that's actually a really, really good fit for him there. And kind of like Casey's so excellent in the ring and such a complete wrestler, like that duo has a lot to offer wrestling when you like kind of step back and look at the bigger picture of that. So I love that duo, and I like getting to see AJ like kind of step into the wrestler that he can be. I think it's funny when people get all pissy at him online and don't realize that, like, especially in the times where he's like intentionally trying to be healing. But I like that alignment. You're right that the Elijah side is just weird. And is he still doing like walk with Elijah-y type stuff? It feels that way.
I don't know. Okay, I'm going to say it. The only thing that separates him from Elias is a big hat. That's it. Elijah, if you take the big hat off of Elijah, he's Elias. He's wearing the same gear. He's the same thing. It's just Elias. So basically, I know you don't watch The Simpsons. Like, so Elias is Malibu Stacy, and Elijah is Malibu Stacy with a new hat. There was a big deal in one of the episodes where it was like, it's the same exact doll, but they just packaged her in the same clothes. But in this one, she's got a new hat. And I feel like we could do something more, because Ezekiel was very different than Elias.
So different.
So I just thought if you're going to have a third brother, tragically, of course, Ezekiel no longer with us. But
of course,
if you were going to have a third brother, Elijah, it would be more than just Elias put on a big hat that he found. He would do more to differentiate those two, I thought.
I don't know if Elijah is supposed to not be Elias, though. Like they've never made that clear, certainly. Which just adds to the conspiracy theory for our dear KO. So you're not wrong that the big hat is the differential in presentation there. But it feels very much like he's still doing walk with Elijah, and or in that vein, right? So for him to just be with two guys that he didn't really like have long-standing interactions with to get him on their side or whatever feels extremely random, but that happens with crossover and promotions all the time. Like
it does.
It's a
Jimber says,
issue.
didn't he have the hat when he first debuted in NXT though? I mean, that was back when he was Elias Sampson. Like, he had a last name at the time. And it wasn't this hat. It was a hat. But it wasn't this hat. This hat is very specific. This hat is fuchsia and far larger than men usually wear as hats. It's a very big hat, and it's not the same hat. It might be
you're
a
the
hat,
fashion
but it's not the
consultant.
same hat. So,
Well, we all know how much
Same hat.
wardrobe choices affect things around this place. We just saw it with the culling. So,
But he got rid of the hat like really early, like 2016. Like he was hatless. You know what I mean?
it's kind of like those spot the difference pictures. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those. It is definitely one of those. Yeah. So we got an Oba Femi update. He might still compete. And then the camera switches over to see Chase U very upset at how they got the Chase U simps were like, I mean, there was 4 of them and only 2 of us. I don't know what we were thinking. It was a 6-man tag, and Andrew Chase never tagged in. So it wasn't 4 of them and 2 of you. It was 4 of them and 3 of you, but Andre Chase wanted no part of it. And then he's like, why won't you guys just stop? You guys got to listen to me. First things first, show up to class on time so I can say the F word to you very loudly in a punctual manner. Also, you guys got to listen to me. When I'm screaming the F word at you, it's not just me screaming the F word. It's me giving you very specific coaching for your matches. Why don't you get your nose out of your phone and pay attention? They're like, you're right. We need to go back to the drawing board.
I have now. Like, you can't say you've jumped the shark with Chase U because you were never on the surfboard. You know what I mean? I was never like, I was more paddleboarding out there with the shark. We have to go back. How many times is Chase U going to go back to the drawing board before we just call this, stick a nail in it? It's done, man. Like, none of this is working. This is a use of Harlem bravado that is recycled and bad. Yeah. It's not helping these 2 younger guys get over. The crowd's not reacting the same way. Chase U was like, for the people that were in on it, better known as not Alex. It was because of Thea Hale and because of Duke Hudson and because of the Chase U fan section and all that. Like, everything that people were in on it about, they took away. So now you're just left with like a frustrated professor. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And it's just not working for anybody involved.
He does have a new fit. He's got a new fit, you know, because he used to have the sweater and the button down underneath it. Now he's got the half zip, the quarter zip.
Well, yeah, that's what going back to the drawing board is.
Yeah, it's just you like, we got to go back to the drawing board in the tailor shop where we get my new clothes. I want to also call attention to this just so nobody thinks that I'm not aware of this. It wasn't a surfboard; it was water skis in which he jumped over the shark with. So I want to make sure I correct the record. The Sour Graps show is aware that you jump the shark on water skis and not on a surfboard. Just wanted to make sure.
You know what? Give me just a second here, Alex. As a representative of Fightful and someone who is on this platform most days of the week, I should do better. I should know better than to imply that Fonzie was ever at a surfboard or a paddleboard, or that the personalities here at Fightful, i.e., in this case, me and Alex, were involved in any sort of escapade that involved a surfboard. Fonzie very famously was on water skis, and it is because of the integrity of Fightful that I issue a formal retraction, and I don't want people to think that that inaccuracy reflects Alex and his thoughts, the thoughts of the Fightful brand. Certainly not Sean's reporting. This was entirely on me. I apologize, and I will not mistake surfboards and skis in the future. Please continue to support the wonderful people here as I hang my head in shame. Sorry, I just didn't want you to have to be on screen for that. I thought it was going to get really ugly.
I just want to say how proud I am of you for owning up.
Thank you.
And that takes a lot of guts, to admit
It didn't feel great.
To admit when you've made a mistake. Not like a lot of lesser people would never do that. They would just move past the fact that you said jump the shark on a surfboard, and they would just move past it, hope nobody noticed. But not this show. This show, we derail the entire show to do a bit where you apologize very sincerely about mistaking surfboards for water skis. Not this show would never.
An iconic moment in television history that is frequently referenced. And if I'm gonna reference it, I'm not gonna bring down this place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
It's all a part of the show, guys. That's what the chat is saying. I need to say.
It's all
that little mistake I made. It's all part of the show. You enjoying it?
Enjoy the show? It's all part of the show.
I did. Even the parts that aren't on the show are a part of the show. So, See, I just thought Kate was making a joke. I would never. Now, Jam Beard saying this apology feels like AI because Kate never apologizes. What? Plus, there was no segue for it into Blue Chew. Like, listen, not everything is a Blue Chew segue. How would you even know that Blue Chew was tonight's sponsor? That would be crazy. But
yeah,
I'll tell you what, like, if you're not jumping the way that you need to be.
If you're watching this, you have probably considered becoming a pro wrestler at some point. Well, let me tell you, I got your gimmick and I got your gimmick. Here's your gimmick name, Rock Hard Eric Shins. And your gimmick is Blue Chew and the code FIGHTFUL. Same approved ingredients as Viagra, as Cialis, but you don't want those. You don't want those. You want Blue Chew. It's chewable, gets into your system a lot faster. It's ready when you are or when you're not. Maybe you need that motivation. Maybe you need that step up in performance. Or maybe you just want a little bit of additional confidence. Take an online questionnaire with a physician, and when approved, it arrives straight to your door. All you got to do is pay $5 shipping because that first shipment is free when you use the code FIGHTFUL. Mailman's not going to know what's up. The nosy Nellies around your neighborhood aren't going to know what's up. But let me tell you, that special someone's going to know what's up. BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL.
Now, here's what you guys are missing. A lot of people are saying, like, a segue into a segue, the inception of segues. Yes, it was strategically teed up for us. But I also really want our sponsors of this show to know how sincerely sorry I am that I would make such a gaffe about skis and surfboards. And I want the ad read to be close to that because I want to protect the integrity of the dick pills that we push on the show. So
there you go. Yeah.
I'm just glad we can put this behind us.
Yeah, me too. Oh, absolutely. Kate, we found out, if you are a subscriber to Fight for Select, you found out earlier than everybody else, that Mariah May would no longer be Mariah May. And then we found out exactly what Mariah May would be following this. If you followed Fight for Select, subscribe, and then she just changed her Twitter handle to it as well.
Yeah.
An hour before they ran the vignette to like surprise us. So I'm going to choose to describe the vignette, the vignette, the
vignette,
in the order they, I think, wanted it presented. Because again, if you were paying attention through a lot of different channels, you would have known before the little video package ran what her name was going to be. But the video package was produced in a way to like have a big thing of like, are they even going to tell us what her new name is? Type of deal. It starts out with her with like static on like an old tube TV, And then hot off the presses, the glamour has come to NXT, but it's a newsreel lady. It's got that cadence and talks like this, but it's a girl. It's a dame, don't you know? And they're going to talk to you all about the glamour. The glamour
has arrived. Yeah.
There you go. The glamour has arrived in NXT, and it's her in a bubble bath. And she gets out, she puts on a towel, and she looks for clothes to wear, and the clothes that she picks out is just lingerie. It's just a negligee of some kind. And there's like, she's here and she's ready to glamorize it up. It's so much glamour, glamour. And I think,
who is the glamour?
Yeah. Are you going to tell us who it is? And then it's all very, there's a specific aesthetic to television where they were really trying hard to deny that the 60s were happening. You know what I mean? Like this, like, there's a certain kind of thing. The first couple of seasons of Mad Men had that whole vibe to it, like it actually takes place during that time. But TV during that era was very specifically denial of the world at large. And things like I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched. This is very Bewitched because also she's got a little cartoon of herself that's a Mariah May cartoon, but it's not Mariah May because when we see the cartoon, it says Blake Monroe. Which just doesn't feel right. Mariah May it's her shoot first name and her shoot middle name together has been her professional wrestling name at all times.
Right.
So to then go far away from it, my thought was, you already have people chanting Mariah. My immediate thought when Ricky showed up was, you can't change Ricky. You can change the last name to something if you need to, but you can't change Ricky. They're already chanting for Ricky.
Sure.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like, people are chanting for Mariah. They recognize her. She's a recognizable person from another company that you have successfully poached away because it's her dream to work for you. So her star, you think, will only be made bigger by your company. And she has a certain amount of name recognition that you would, I assume, try to take advantage of instead of taking that all away. Now, the name Blake is apparently her niece's name, according to a 2016 Instagram post. She has a little niece named Blake, which I think is adorable that she decided to name herself, her new character, after Blake. You can't tell me that the last name is anyone other than Marilyn Monroe.
Sure, that's of course.
Very obvious. So Blake Monroe, I get it. But I was like, hey, why not Mariah Monroe? You guys love doing alliteration. Mariah Monroe sounds fantastic. No one would ever, I don't think anyone would have batted an eye if you said her name is Mariah Monroe. And I was like, quick, somebody in the SGS Discord, do a quick Google search to make sure that's not, a German U-boat captain. Turns out it's not a German U-boat captain. However, it is an adult film actress from Great Britain. So that's probably why they decided not to go with Mariah Monroe. However, Blake Monroe also works in the adult industry. So maybe they should have Googled that one too. Like, she's a burlesque dancer who's got her own website. So if you Google Blake Monroe, it's not too hard to find that person. So if that's the reason they didn't do Mariah Monroe, then whoops. You know what I mean? So this just, it doesn't feel like something you'll get over as fast as other name changes. This one feels like they really missed the mark on this name with me.
So the vignette I thought was adorable, and it's very clearly inspired by, and I know you're not up on the Sabrina Carpenter so much, but
Oh.
she at her concerts has a thing where she's like in a bathtub in a similar way, and the little like outfit reveal thing, she does that every concert. So it's very, very much in line with that. And I think it was well adapted, and I thought it was cute. I loved this vignette, except I loved everything about it except for this. Who in the graphics department on earth thinks this is what a newspaper looks like?
Oh, I know. It's so bad.
I thought the shots of her looking directly into the camera were so cute. All the stuff in the bathtub, the reveal I thought was so good. Her facial expressions were great. And then I look at that quote unquote newspaper and I'm like, man, I know newspapers aren't in style anymore, but come on, man. This is not what newspapers look like. This is not the font they use. This looks like they took a newspaper from The Simpsons and edited it. It was distractingly bad. Everything else about it I loved. The name Blake Monroe. A lot of people hate it a lot more than I have. They are also, or used to be, very insistent on having names that are chantable because of, as you affectionately love to call them, and I do too, the Roops. So Blake Monroe is much more chantable than Mariah Monroe or even Mariah. Like, that's a tricky one. So if that's still a priority of theirs, I understand. But it doesn't feel, if it was her choice and it's a nod to her niece, who the hell am I to say? It doesn't feel Hollywood glamour name. The name Blake doesn't feel like glamorous.
It feels
female.
waspy.
Yes.
It feels waspy.
A little too Upper East Side.
Oh, have you met Blake? And here's Muffy. We're going to the Hamptons. Like, that's just what that feels like to me. I don't know.
Why not Mariah Blake? I even just Mariah May and change it to an E. Just like there's all these things that come.
A single name, because she just feels like she's this huge star. She isn't, Madonna, Cher, Mariah. Like that just feels like it's a really easy thing to do. I mean, I'm sure Will Washington would object and say there's only one Mariah, but I don't know. There could possibly be another one.
But she has her last name, right? So
I know.
I saw people saying Mariah London. Here you go.
Monroe May, Blake May, Mariah Blake, Monroe Blake, Marilyn Blake, Marilyn May. All feel like better versions of this name. I don't love the name. It doesn't feel right. Blake is just doesn't sound like all right, Blake.
You wanted the honest to God first thing I thought of? The Key and Peele sketch. Blake. Yeah. Blake. Blake.
Jambeard says, as Coach would say, Balaki Marona.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah.
Hey, Ron, that sketch.
Now I want her name to be Muffy May too, says Jambeard. Here's the thing about this. So I know basically the deal with Ricky Starks and Ricky Saints is we're just bringing this whole package over.
Yes.
But he's doing the same deal.
Which he was doing before AEW too.
Right,
so
exactly.
Like, that's who he is as a wrestler.
Sure, 100%. Rusev is not Miro. Rusev was not Miro. When Miro went to AEW, he came up with that character. That was not who Rusev was.
Right.
Now that Miro is back to being Rusev, he's still just Miro. They are bringing people from AEW back. Like Malachi is Alistair, is Malachi. I get that he's always been the same guy. That makes sense too. But they're not beating the allegations where it's like, what gimmick can we give to Mariah May? I know, instead of her being a 1940s actress, she's an early 60s actress. Like it's also a very far away time period, but she's definitely doing the Bewitched intro.
Yes.
Where the animated Bewitched intro from the 1960s is exactly the style of the cartoon they've drawn of her. Like
Sure.
they're trying to make her into this thing. It just feels like you guys really don't have any of your own ideas.
Mira Monroe would have been great.
Mira Monroe would have been. Mariah Miro.
There's a fine line with how much, like, if a wrestler liked what they were doing in AEW and they feel like that's who they are as a wrestler, they should be able to bring that over. But the reason it looks so stupid when WWE does this is because they're out in the press on WrestleMania week calling them the minor leagues and then copy and pasting what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's more that I don't know how many more times or ways we could say like their media relations, especially WrestleMania week, was a disaster, but every one of these press scrums continues to be. So I like the idea that wrestlers would have input on who they are in a new company, and if they liked what they were doing, they should be able to continue down that way. But when you have Nick Khan calling this other promotion their little brother, basically, and the minor leagues, it's like, well, I don't know. The New York Yankees don't talk about the Binghamton Rumble Ponies nearly as much as you guys do, and then take their players and do the exact same thing. You know what I mean? Like it makes them look really freaking stupid when they do stuff like that. And it's completely unforced errors on that part. I feel like the happy medium that they got really right was Penta. Because he doesn't feel like a different guy than he did in AEW, but he feels like a much bigger deal. And they turned his presentation way, way up. I think that's like the thing that you're looking for. With Mariah Blake, it's a little different because her character was so charactery.
Yeah.
Like Ricky Saint Stark is kind of like, he's a very familiar character and guy that we've seen replicated kind of in wrestling applied to who Ricky is, right? Like she was such a specific part of the most unhinged women's story ever told, probably. Like that, to copy and paste that feels more like a ripoff in that way. And I do think this is probably true. I think they were very aware of not making it Tiffany Stratton 2.0 type stuff, which is also the right call. But when you are copying and pasting something that was such a creative risk, it reads a lot more like you're copying than inspired by. And that line is something that both companies are going to have to continue to kind of figure out.
Yeah. I mean, this is also obviously very long time ago, different regime now. This is the company who tried to tell you that it doesn't matter who's playing Razor Ramon. It doesn't matter who's playing Diesel. We're going to get Rick Bognar to come out here and be Scott Hall as Razor Ramon, and you're going to be like, yeah, that's the same guy. No, the gimmick can't be played by somebody else. The whole package is the whole package. So, yeah. So
even oh my gosh, like 2012-ish probably, who was the luchador that they just put a different guy under the mask and were like, they'll never know. And it was Sin Cara, yeah. It's like, there were two Sin Caras and they had completely different builds, and they were like, there's just
it's the same guy. Ryan Cicchini says it's a Bewitched reference, right? Yes, absolutely. The thing is definitely supposed to be Bewitched. And people were thinking that maybe it was a nod to you in particular, the way that all the new cartoon needs is some bangs. And it would just be a nice, perfect drawing of you. And then Orion wants, can you actually wiggle your nose? Like,
not really.
No. You gotta. It's gotta be.
I only go back and forth. Yeah, I can't. I can't twitch it.
It's tough.
I'll work on it. I'll work on it. It's a big episode of me trying to do better between my apology and needing to learn how to.
Well, Alpha Bill says apologize to Henry Winkler LLC for that segue.
I want to have. I want to make that a direct apology first. Yeah. Like I apologized here, but like Henry Winkler and the corresponding properties deserve like a direct and personal phone call from me. So
Jayne Beard also is I know it's the first promo by her in WWE, but also feels like a less serious version of what Vince was trying to do with Emelina and Carmella. And do you remember that weird time where they were doing vignettes for Liv and she was just in a bathtub? And like Liv Morgan is gonna, she's like, watch me. But she was like doing sex stuff in a bathtub. And then they stopped doing the vignettes. And like a month later, she was like, she interrupted Bobby Lashley and Lana's wedding and says, I'm in love with you, Lana. Like, I don't think it's going to be that bad, but it does call to mind those types of vignettes. Yes.
it certainly does.
And Jayne Beard says, I feel like Alex explaining the difference in hats for Elias, Elijah, Ezekiel, Elliot, Eleanor, El Hatar, and Ellis family tree is like trying to understand Marvel's multiverses. I mean, it's very complicated.
There's a lot that happens in the Hatverse, you know?
Ezekiel, clean shaven. Elias, beard. Beard, big hat, Elijah.
There you go.
It's really hard, honestly, to get all that up. Lion Drive says, I mean, when someone is called up from the minors, they aren't changed as players. That's what's so frustrating about Vince and NXT. I mean, yes, indeed. We will have to see. It's one vignette, and we don't even know. Like next week, she signs her contract the way Ricky Saints did. I'm happy they're not just redoing the same thing. We're like, what's his name gonna be? And then they focus it on the contract after he signs it. Oh, Blake Monroe. I hope that they're not gonna. Thankfully, they're not doing that. But we'll see what her presentation is when she walks to the ring next week, because
correct,
this vignette to me felt fairly different than the character she was up in the crow's nest last week.
Very I would say very different, yeah.
And cute and everything. Then last week was very much more glamorous, as opposed to like, tee-hee, I'm gonna drop my towel.
Yeah, this was like cutesy, and I feel like last week was more assertive,
right?
In a way.
Jayne Beard clarifying, what about big hat and clean shaven? This is the deal. This is how they don't get everybody confused.
Yeah.
Ezekiel is allergic to hats, so therefore there's no confusion. There was never a chance that he would be seen with a hat, so that there was no extra character.
Correct.
Or no, what was that? Elroy, the one that Kevin Owens was talking about? I think that's Elroy. Elroy is clean shaven with a hat, but it's a baseball cap, so it's not
Elrod?
the same kind of giant. Yeah, it was Elroy. I'm not sure. So
Elroy.
Backstage, Solruka and Zelta are doing the TikTok gag, and in the background, it's Lash Legend talking crap to Ren Sinclair, and Carmen Petrovich was standing there. She had no lines, but it's good to see her on TV, I guess. And then Kalani was there talking with Lash Legend. And so Solruka was like, I'm the NXT North American champion. You'd never know from how they're presenting me here, but I'm going to film this. And I'm like, I just wanted, when she became the NXT North American champion, I thought we're like, awesome. Let's get some cool storytelling for her and Zelta, and also lots of great matches. And she's just doing TikToks in the back. And I'm like, I just feel like we could capitalize more on her being belted up with like 2 titles too. Like, she's the speed champion as well. Like, we could do more with her, but I guess not.
I keep forgetting she's Ruka Bells.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping for more matches from. I really like seeing Solruka wrestle, and I really like seeing Zarya wrestle, and I feel like we haven't gotten to see enough of either of that. And also, can we do something with Carmen Petrovich? Like,
no, I'm sorry, we can't.
Okay, I was just asking, but thank you.
We don't have time. We spent a lot of time on her and Ashanti's relationship going back to last fall and all the way through the spring. And she had a lot of like important matches. She had a title match with Stephanie Vauquois. Like there's a lot of stuff that we did with Carmen Petrovich. She's got our whole Shing squad and everything. but she's not one of the 8 most important women in NXT anymore.
I just think there's something really there with Carmen.
I do too. But
I think they should also think that.
I also agree with you that they should.
But I can't tell the difference between a surfboard and water ski. So what am I to say?
Lash Legend had a match with Ren Sinclair about all this with Kalani on commentary for it. The finish was not great, but the rest of the match was fine. Again, I reiterate my request. Lash Legend to the main roster to be Naomi's Diesel. When Naomi cashes in on somebody, she has Lash Legend beat the crap out of them before. It's perfect. It's the best way to do it. Lash Legend is the counteraction to Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
Like Naomi's like, I can't beat this. Maybe this is the thing. That there is a report that there might be setting up Jade Cargill versus Naomi for Evolution. Naomi did not look like she could handle Jade Cargill at all at WrestleMania. So if they're going to do that again at Evolution, again, I don't think that was us that reported it, but it has been reported. If that is the match they're doing at Evolution, Naomi getting her ass handed to her again by Jade Cargill is definitely a possibility.
Especially they love people losing on the way to cashing in. They love it.
Especially if Jade Cargill is, as a lot of people predict, winning the Queen of the Ring tournament.
Yes.
Then her 2 weeks later beating the tar out of Naomi makes a lot of sense. So then Naomi says, okay, I can't do this on my own. I hate this woman. I'm going to get rid of her. And she recruits Lash. Honestly, I think
awesome
Lash
idea.
would be so great as a heavy on the main roster for Naomi. I think if they could coordinate hairdos, like it'd be great.
That would be so sick. That would be sick.
Get it done. It'd be really fun. But anyway, don't do this as your finisher anymore, Lash Legend. You know what she could friggin' do? That pump kick is sick.
It's ridiculous.
She should just do that as her finisher. Make it her version of the brogue kick, and she just takes women's heads off with it. I mean, why not? Like it's the most impressive thing that she does. Or choke slam. Give her a big, fat choke slam, like way up and all the way to the ground. I honestly feel like no woman is doing that. Like give that to Lash Legend and make it a thing. Like, I don't know, man, this is going way, way back. People will be like, well, Lash Legend isn't great in the ring. She's gotten a lot better. But you know who was terrible in the ring? A dude in ECW named 911. He was the most over guy in all of ECW. All he ever did was come to the ring and choke slam a guy and walk away. He was super over in the 90s in ECW. So you could easily get her over with just a choke slam. It would be really, really good for her. It would really help out Naomi. Get that done. I say that.
You've been calling for like a woman to use the choke slam for a while. Like you said it for Nia, and I feel like Nia really, really should. I also like the idea of the choke slam and the pump kick in tandem. Like and we'll finish you off with the pump kick would be fantastic. I like finishers that have and just for good measure on the end of them. And it's such an impressive pump kick that I think the crowds would really gravitate toward it too. There was just some awkward chemistry and something weird happened in the end here. Because Ren Sinclair didn't look like she was fully I don't know what it was. Something looked off. I'll put it that way. Yeah. The rest of the match was all right. Some of this suffers from these two just aren't getting reps on television all that much. Like they need more matches. The bummer of a bunch of people getting called up at once is you had a lot of ring generals in there. And so you're going to see more stuff like this where people that haven't gotten as many reps or aren't as experienced don't look as great as we're used to seeing the caliber of women's wrestling on NXT. The good news is there's breathing room now on the television for people to get reps. So hopefully, the next ones go a little bit better at the end and you move and grow from there. I feel like Mariah coming in to fill a void is a very good thing. I feel like they are foolish for not having Wendy Chu on this roster with how it sounds so dramatic to say it, but like it's much more vulnerable now than it was 3 weeks ago, even.
Mhm.
So I feel like it is I'll say it, downright silly that Wendy Chu is not ring general of the women's division on NXT. It's actually very silly she's not on the main roster, but
Mhm.
what am I to do?
Jabber says Tegan Knox did kind of use the chokeslam at one point as a tribute to Kane. I bet she ain't doing that anymore.
That's much.
Yeah, that was more like a tongue-in-cheek thing that she was doing. It wasn't like, that wasn't her finisher.
You need like a strong, athletically built woman to do, like Lash doing it is the right person to be doing it.
So, Lainey Reid is our new horse girl. She's a rodeo champion.
Graduated.
She's a rodeo champion. Now, Fallon Henley has nothing to do with horses now.
I know.
Like she's Cowboy Cruella DeVille. Like that's the most that she is. Like she's definitely not a horse girl anymore. We have a new horse girl Junior. El Hija de Horse Girl. We have a new horse girl in the building, and her name is Lainey Reid. She calls herself the yes, Ali Cease. I was trying to explain Fallon Henley horse lawyer to Emily again. So there was a vignette for Fallon Henley when she was in the breakout tournament. Okay. And she said, I love my horse. She had her horse was a name. My parents have this ranch with a horse on it. My favorite horse. I love this horse. Her horse had a name. I don't remember what the horse's name was. She says, I can't wait to win this contract because when I do, I'm bringing it home and showing it to my horse. And I said, the only reason you would show a contract to a horse was if it was your lawyer. And then we said, horse girl has a horse lawyer. And that sustained us, I think, for like 6 months. Didn't need to be any other jokes on the show. It was just horse girl, horse lawyer. So,
well, and then she was paired up with Double Vest in the Beach. So we had a great little stable of nicknames cooking.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. So she also said that she is the Southern sensation. And then she says, don't let the accent fool you. And I was like, what accent? And she's from Alabama, so she is Southern. And I have no problem with you using the geography of where you are from as your little log line, the Southern sensation or whatever. That's fine. But you don't get to say, don't let the accent fool you if you've got a very, very, very faint accent. Unless you're like, hey, y'all, I'm here to take down Jacy Jayne, become the NXT Women's Champion. Don't let the accent fool you. I could take the big one. Like, it wasn't that. She says, don't let the accent fool you. And I was like, I didn't hear an accent. And I was like, that's fine. You can be from the South and not have an accent. What you can't do is be from the South, not have an accent, and also say, don't let the accent fool you. That's the problem.
Ellie, that is not what you sound like. That's an exaggeration, but you guys do actually. Emily and Ellie have adorable accents. I just didn't even know Chapel Roan was a wrestler.
Yeah.
I looked at her and I was like, dang, okay.
Yeah. Also, for her little vignette, they played banjo music because she's Southern.
Yes, of course. Of course.
I mean, it was obviously AI banjo music coming out of a computer, but it was banjo music.
So chat is saying that she used to have a stronger Southern accent, which was like an evolved thing. But
okay.
Anyway, it was funny because I was like, these are the type of characters they tried to force on us in NXT 2.0 when they were making stuff up.
Her entrance,
but this is just authentically who she is.
Her entrance, yes, it is it's fine. Then the problem I have with this is, okay, if you're the Southern sensation, you're from Alabama, she was she's a horse girl. Like her ring gear looked like she was tagging with Jayne.
Oh, it drives me crazy. This is one of my
black
number one
with
pet peeves of
maroon
wrestling.
accents. It was black leather with maroon accents. Where's your Daisy Dukes? Where's your cousin Cassie, little farm girl thing tied up in the front? I'm
a caricature of one.
Come on,
like rodeo.
I don't know.
She's a rodeo champion. Like you're probably wearing black leather.
Well, I mean,
right?
In all the thing where she could wrestle in chaps. I don't care. She should be the women's version of what Hangman Page wears to the ring, at the very least.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like she didn't look at all like maybe they'll change it as her character gets more featured on NXT. Now, I say all of this saying they need to work on the presentation a little bit. Obviously, they see a lot in her, and from her work in the ring with good cause.
Yeah, agreed.
She's an NIL person who we haven't seen before wrestle a match on NXT. She was doing a lot of stuff on Level Up. And apparently she was doing a bunch of stuff on Evolve. But she apparently took all the time since she's come to the PC to get better and better and better. There were a lot of people who were NIL signings who we watched on NXT for a long time who were bad.
Yeah.
So the fact that she wasn't allowed on NXT proper for some reason, but was doing all of this stuff in the lower levels on Level Up, on Evolve, and getting better and better and better, obviously, because she came in with not a stitch of, as far as I know, not a stitch of training. Good for her. She's only going to get better. This is all stuff you can work with in the ring and all this stuff. 100%. Let's kick it into the next gear character-wise. Change up her gear that she wears in the ring, and I'm like, we could be well on the way for her being future women's champion material down the line.
So, thought she was very good in the ring. I agree that her presentation needs to be dialed in on. I kind of like the idea of it not being so dainty Southern girly, like the idea that she's not borrowing Tom Lawler's Daisy Dukes. Like I like the idea of having a little bit of a badass kick, because we've seen the oh my god, how many times did they repackage Lacey Evans, right? So I like going in the more badass direction of that. But this also wasn't fully it, and man, matching ring gear on opponents drives me crazy. I complain about it every time it happens. Every time it happens, when you have Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair out there hating each other and wearing the same thing several episodes in a row, I'm like, what are we doing? Drives me nuts. But she was very good in the ring. Overarching complaint with the episode: how come none of the characters that we know from NXT are getting title shots? Sean Legacy, Jasper Troy, Lainey, like, and no offense to any of them, they were great tonight, but like, what about the roster that's been there? Because that's getting rough.
That I heard them say that she had been on Evolve. If she has indeed not been on Evolve, Level Up ended, 6 months ago? Like, if she's not been on Evolve, because I've seen multiple people in the chat saying, I've seen multiple people say that she has not been on Evolve.
Interesting.
In the chat.
Okay.
If she hasn't, I don't know. I'm not cage matching her right now. If she hasn't, then you had an opportunity to have her do something in the last 6 months on NXT. So when she hopped the railing last week to say, I want a title shot, it doesn't look like she's just a fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she's been doing NXT live events. You know what I mean? You introduce everybody who is on your show with vignettes and backstage interviews. You do all of that, but this woman gets none of that because she didn't have any of that when she was doing Level Up stuff. So, you owe it to, this is one of those times where I will unironically say, I need a vignette.
Yeah.
I need a video package to
I
know
agree
who
with
this
that.
person is. If she's been doing it on Evolve since Evolve started up, I'd be like, okay, fine. They told us Sean Legacy was doing great stuff on Evolve. They had him doing stuff on NXT, and I was like, yes, he's very good. Thank you for showing it to us. So if that's the deal, then we can figure it out. But
I agree.
don't do that again. Don't bring somebody who's never been on NXT and also hasn't been doing Evolve and just have them hop the barricade and go, I want a title match, and then double slap her way into getting the title match.
But even if we knew who she was, like, what's it saying about your utilization of your own roster that it was Sean Legacy, Jasper, Troy, and her tonight? Like, you just gutted the women's division, especially. Like, you got to use the women that have been there that are already
we'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk about that in just 1 second. The match ends because Lainey Reid, apparently, since she hasn't wrestled on television since Level Up, didn't know what to do when Fallon Henley made this at her. And so she lost because she was standing on the top rope about to do a moonsault or something, and then Fallon Henley did this, and she was like, "What?" And then Jayne swept her legs out and then hit her with a big rolling elbow. So okay, Jayne wins. Good for Jayne. She looked great in this. She's very talented. It's always been so, and they just decided to elevate her the last 6 steps all at once.
Agreed.
She's been like this. She's been plateaued for a while. She's been up and plateaued and up. And they're like, oh, you know what? All the way to the top. And they did it in one night. And that's how it kind of felt weird. But she's always been really, really talented.
Yes.
So afterwards, Ava in the Raven's Nest is up there to be like, hey, Jacy, up here. Since you guys since Fatal Influence decided who your first challenger was going to be, I'm going to decide your next one. And by that, I mean let all these other women decide it. But Fatal Influence didn't decide it. Lainey Reid decided it when she slapped
double slap.
The double slap. And when Jacy Jayne was like, give me that bitch tonight, you were like, fine, good. So you did one like you were like against the match happening. This is all very oddly written. But she says, we are going to do qualifying matches. Did she say tournament? Anyway, this is how we're going to do it. There are going to be 4 different singles matches. Okay? And the winners of those 4 singles matches next week will be in a Fatal 4-Way the following week. And the winner of that Fatal 4-Way will face you at Evolution for the NXT Women's Championship. And then they showed 8 women standing around the ring and just randomly paired together. There was Jada standing next to Kalani, and there was Lola Vice standing next to Thea Hale. And then up in the crowd, there was Lash Legend, there was Zelta, there was Izzy Dame, and there was Jordan Grace. And there was not Blake Monroe. And I was like, I thought for sure she was just saying, I want a title match and getting it at Evolution and winning it. I thought that's a slam dunk. Like, I honestly, and they may do the thing of like, oh my God, so-and-so got taken out before the match. Whoever will replace them in the match. It's Mariah May. You know what I mean? That's very possible that they could do that. It would not be the first time they have done something like that. So that's still possible, but I certainly thought Mariah May was a shoo-in for her big debut, beating Jacy Jayne to become the NXT Women's Champion. I thought for sure they were going to do that. But she did say last week, call me your next NXT Women's Champion. So we can't call you that unless we think Jacy Jayne is winning at Evolution. Which, when you look at the people who are in those 4 singles matches, I think the winner of the whole thing would appear to me to be Jordan Grace, unless something goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, I think it kind of has to be Jordynne Grace.
Unless they give Zelta a title match out of nowhere, which I would not be opposed to. You know what I mean? But like
Does she
Kalani, Jake, because here are the matches. I do like that they have put people together in matches that they have some kind of
yes, seeds were planted already.
Seeds are already planted. Like Kalani and Lash talking mess to each other earlier in the night. They're a singles match. Kalani, not Kalani. No. Thea Hale and Jada Parker have been at each other for weeks. They're a singles match. Is it Lola and Jordan?
I think so.
And then
Isn't
Zelta and I think it's Lola and Jordan and Zelta and Izzy. They're doing a lot with Izzy right now, so I would not be surprised to see Zelta lose that match because miscommunication with Sol Ruca. Because that's the crap that they pull all the time. But I do think that it's really cool because if you told me Jada Parker or Thea Hale, I don't know. I don't know who you push there. I don't know who they're going to push there. If you tell me Lash Legend or Kalani Jordan, I don't know who they're going to push there. I love going into next week that I honestly do not know who are going to win those two matches. I'm pretty sure Jordynne Grace is winning her match, and there's an easy way for them to get to Zelta losing and getting Izzy Dame in the 4-way where she takes the pin. I mean, I could easily see them doing that. But I like that 2 out of the 4 matches next week, I have no idea.
I like that too, and I feel like I'm not so sure Zari is going to lose. I think she is. So it's not even like obvious slam dunks on that side, except I think Jordynne Grace is probably taking the whole thing. Right. I wonder if they feel like maybe they've tilted too far of the fact that they're running against AEW that weekend, if they want Mariah May's big win or Blake Monroe's big win to be not that time, and they want it to be further down the line, and they might also not want to immediately cut the legs out from under Jacy Jayne, which I respect. Like, I think that's a good idea.
I don't know. When she won it last week, I was like, transitional champ.
Well, as soon as Mariah May showed up, I was like, well, that's that.
I mean, the other thing is that Mariah May having a match against I don't know who at Great American Bash at the same time as All In is probably what they're going to do.
Very possible.
You know, because that's happening concurrently. So
that's very possible too.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, Alex, we're sure talking about a lot of PLEs and pay-per-views.
We sure are.
I wish there was some sort of way to save money, but I'm just here in the United States where we know what the costs are and there's no way around that.
They have things called VPNs where you can lie to the internet and tell them that you are in Latvia or whatever. And and then you can, because apparently in Latvia, they're paying dirt cheap. So like they're paying peanuts to get to watch AEW pay-per-views and all that kind of stuff.
Do you know
there's a lot of VPNs though, and some of them are kind of shady. But one VPN that I have heard good things about is Nord.
Oh man, I wish I trust you, but if I had like a second opinion,
no, like Sean Ross Sapp told me about it. I think he's fairly credible.
Buying pay-per-views on NordVPN.com/Fightful is going to enhance your pay-per-view buying process. Now, one subscription to NordVPN has so many different benefits, but if you're a big pay-per-view buyer like myself, UFC, boxing, pro wrestling, all that good stuff, any combination of the three, if they're doing a fight circus or something like that, this subscription will pay for itself after 1 or 2 pay-per-view buys. Change your virtual location, pay for it at the prices that other people are paying for it in the UK, in Australia, etc., etc. And you can get different interfaces. Maybe you don't like Peacock and you want to check out the WWE Network the way that it used to be, the way that it was designed to be, the easy navigation, so on and so forth. Maybe you want to watch AEW without commercials. Maybe there's some other overseas services that you can't subscribe to and you want access to them. NordVPN.com/Fightful gives you that with a great deal and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Even better, 24/7 tech support, so if you have trouble navigating any of it, they can help you out. Fastest VPN on the planet, NordVPN.com/Fightful.
Ah, that was so helpful of him to just like hop in there. And I'll tell you what, that ad read was completely planned and not because I had to run to the bathroom real quick. And I didn't have to run to the bathroom real quick because of this. Saying that I'm seriously hydrating. That must be why I'm glowing. Well, thank you for the compliment. But I'm back at the gym, Alex. And I am getting my ass kicked. So there's a lot of water. A lot of water being drank. Staying hydrated, living the dream. Hey, Alex, before we dive back into things, let's take this moment to tell people that you and I will be doing the AEW Mega Show tomorrow. And
extra sour graps this week.
Extra graps for all of you wonderful people. So it'll be us two, and then Sean's gonna try and pop on with some news, but he has an early day the next day, so that means I'm getting called up for the AEW Mega Show. So looking forward to joining you on that.
Yeah, that should be fun.
You're getting a lot of me this month.
Yes, and probably because it's so late, I'm gonna get Loopy Kate tomorrow night. So that's always fun. When
Loopy Kate, whatever do you mean?
I don't know. We had a lot of chats about Horse Girl Lawyer Junior Associate. I like that a lot. Jim Pringle says that I was fooled by the accent. Maybe it was the banjo. The banjo does it. The banjo definitely helps out with the Southern thing. And Alpha Bill making another Simpsons reference. She'll be singing "Bunk with Me Tonight" by Lurleen Lumpkin. That's a very famous episode of The Simpsons that you don't know anything about.
I don't, but she'll be singing "The Giver" by Chappell Roan.
Sweet and Sassy Creation says Lainey Reid was on when Level Up and did a lot of house shows. Yeah, I have heard
she could go in the ring, man. No complaints about that at all.
For sure. I just feel like you owed it to us to tell us who she was on NXT.
I mentioned, like, in the greater context of this episode, Jasper Troy having the shot and Sean Legacy having the shot. Like, I get the excitement aspect of that, but when you also just did a surprise win for Miles Bourne before this for Oba Femi, like, it's not enough of the people that are on your weekly television that are being elevated by your champions, in my opinion. We
got to do something serious for him for Great American Bash.
Yeah, we need something for real.
The Women's Championship is not being defended at Great American Bash. The NXT Championship is your main event, clearly, 100%, without changing anything. So, there's nobody like lurking around. There's nobody like, oh, obviously this guy's coming after it. Like, there's none of that. So
yeah, Ricky's facing Ethan again, so it's not even like a deal like that.
I don't think they're doing Trick versus Oba one-on-one now that Trick is the TNA champion. Is there a TNA guy who could just like show up and say, I'd like that?
With Joe Hendry. Santana, honestly. That would be cool.
No, I don't want Santana to take a loss there. He doesn't need to take a loss there. The Line Drive says, speaking of someone who seemingly can't get on NXT despite clearly just getting it, get Kendall Gray on Tuesday. She was on Tuesdays. She was great on Tuesdays. Bring her back. She's a suplex machine. I like her a lot.
Did you just think of that? The suplex machine? That's new.
Yeah, no one's ever been called that before in the history of wrestling. So there was last week Luca Gracefino, who is, listen, he's a dynamite lawyer, even if he's not a horse. But as a character actor, he could use some work. You can't be Luca Crucifino and be like, hello, Don. Yes, I was just on the phone with a business associate. I believe that this match will teach you that you can trust me. Like, he got it. Like, no, don't worry about that, Don. It was just business. Let's go to the ring. Listen, I promise. You can trust me. Come on. It's Luca. We go way back. You gotta give me something with Luca Crucifino because him being like, I promise this match will teach you that you can trust me, made me know for a fact that I can't trust him. Like, give me something.
We need the drama. We need the drama.
Also, Luca Crucifino. Apparently, in law school, they teach you can like triple park. Because when he pulled the car up, he just stopped it in the middle of the parking lot. Like, it wasn't by the valet stand. Like, on either side of him were cars that were boxed in that could not back out because he parked in the middle of the parking lot. Luca, you got to do better than that, buddy.
I think that's a strategy. I think he's trying to set up some lawsuits that he could win. Like, he'll claim people will try and back out, and he'll be like, "They hit my car."
Mm-hmm. It's possible. This match between them and First Rise, I mean High Rise. We used to call them Team Bouncy Beef, but now they're heels. They don't bounce as much.
It's disappointing, honestly.
I mean, their secret sauce was that they bounced as much as they beefed. And now it's all beef, no bounce. And I'm like, I've seen a lot of beefy teams with no bounce. The bounce is what makes you special. I'm sad there's not enough bounce in my beef anymore.
I always have a lot of respect for when people change character and their ring style follows, because I think that's an underrated and important aspect of professional wrestling. But I am with you on this one, Alex. I am saying let them bounce. Let them bounce.
Yeah.
For they are beefy and they can bounce.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a fault of anybody involved. Sometimes you do things and they just don't click.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not buying it with these guys in Wesley.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not buying it. I don't think Wesley is like faction leader guy. And that's okay. Like, I don't think he should be or needs to be.
Yeah.
But like him being the guiding force for these guys, I don't know. There's just something that
there was a really quick detour into something special with Wesley when he was doing the stuff with
the Rascals.
The Rascals. And the guy, what's the name of the one-on-one match he had with that guy? Not the Rascals entirely, but that Nash.
No.
Who's the guy's name? The other dude. The dude he fought one-on-one. He used to be in NXT, but then he left. Zachary Wentz had
but it
the whole time. He was Nash something. Nash Carter in NXT. Zach Wentz in real life. So that was a really special thing they were doing with him. But other than that, very, very brief foray. That dude's aura died when Dominic Mysterio pinned him for that NXT North American title. Like, he like left voluntarily to like find himself and then came back, and he was back and was trying to like move up way up the card, and then he hurt his back and was like, I don't know if I'll ever wrestle again. And he miraculously recovered and came back, and then not much.
I think it was. I even like was digging the heel turn in the beginning, but when you like come back from injury in super speed,
you know what?
He's very likable. Like I just want to be able to like him.
He Samsoned himself. His aura left him when he cut the braids. All that aura was just, we don't
just got snipped off.
He didn't need a Delilah. He Samsoned himself, man.
He Samsoned himself.
So
I don't think you're wrong.
This match is just Tony wondering whether or not he could trust Luca, and finally he gets in for a hot tag, and he's just chucking these beefy dudes all over the ring. Man, I love Tony D'Angelo the way he wrestled. I really do, man. He's really, really good. And then Stax runs up with a crowbar, and he's going to attack Tony D, who fights him off. But Stacks drops the crowbar, and Luca picks it up and stands behind him with the crowbar dangling at his side. He never once raises it up. He's just holding it there. And Tony D turns around and is like, why you got this crowbar? Oh no, I picked it up. I picked it up so Stacks couldn't get it. I mean, and so because of this, Tony D is distracted long enough to get pinned by Tyson DuPont. And I just want this storyline to end. Every week it goes further. It just drags it out unnecessarily. When you had the big match versus Stacks and Tony D, you know, the big revenge match, Luca shows up, Big Ann shows up. Tony thinks they're there to help him, and they're not. They've chosen Stacks. That was a month ago.
Yeah.
We don't have to keep doing this anymore. You just
Not everything
like,
needs
it
a
just
slow
feels
burn.
like,
And a mob family breakup least of all. Like that should be a one and done, maybe a two and done. But like the betrayal has to happen in one shot. You can't do that with this. They kind of unfortunately have punted the.
It does feel like they are Walking Deading this. Where it's just like there's 10 seasons. We needed 4 seasons and out. You did 10 seasons. We don't need it. So I don't know. I mean, Stacks is like Stacks was like yelling at him. You don't even know who you can trust. And Tony D's like, I don't know who I can trust. And so we're just gonna keep doing this until he figure out what they're gonna do with any of the it. I don't know. It just makes Tony D look dumber and dumber every week that he can't recognize where this is obviously heading. And also,
it's making him look stupid.
It makes it also obvious that he didn't have enough people in his mob.
Yeah. It's for me, the making him look stupid when he was such a clever character.
Yeah.
Is frustrating because he was always going to look dumb for not seeing the split coming. So then when you just drag that out, he looks dumb and dumber. He looks like both Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey. Like it doesn't he can only look worse the longer this goes because he's not getting backup and he's not seeing the very, 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 very obvious thing that's in front of him.
Yeah. So, our main event.
Yes.
I don't think I missed anything. I got everything. Oh, Psycho Clown and Octagon Jr. were at ringside. So the main event. You know how I love Oba Femi with every fiber of my being, like he was my own son.
I am aware.
Yeah. So he's he's so good at everything that I've never gotten to see him play underdog babyface before.
Correct.
I've never gotten to see him be like, my ribs are bruised, perhaps cracked, and now I have to face against a guy larger than me, who's going to target these ribs through the entire match. I've never gotten to see him do that. It was fascinating because I usually hate those matches because it means I'm watching somebody less than their full power, like artificially kayfabe lessening them so that the other guy has a chance to beat them, and that's where the drama comes in. I would have loved this more if Jasper Troy got a match versus Oba, the first one, and Oba was full strength, and Oba beat him in 7 minutes. Because Oba at full strength, you can't beat him. Now you hit some big bombs on him, and Oba felt those big bombs you threw at him, but he still beat you. But then Jasper Troy says that's not enough. It keeps coming at him and hitting him, attacking him in the parking lot until Oba says, I want one more match against him. And but he attacks you and you have three broken ribs. I don't care. I want him again. Okay. And then we get to see what Oba is like, not at full strength against this guy. And we get to see Jasper Troy having been smart enough to realize, I can't beat this dude at full strength. I already know that because I attempted it and failed. Now I've made him less than full strength. Now let me see if I can get him. And then you actually get to see him do the match in that kind of way. We skipped the first one and went straight into this one. And him finding different ways of selling not being able to get a breath, of the localized pain of specifically being dropped on my back on the apron is different than you punching me in the ribs from the front, because all of the localized pain is my spine where you put me through a windshield. So every time I take a back bump, I'm going to react differently than taking a front bump. And this guy, again, has had like 12 matches. Like, it's not that little, but it's way fewer than a guy who knows where to localize his pain depending on where the bump is. Like, he's so friggin' good, and he absolutely sold me a ticket on, maybe they didn't want to pin him at full strength, but the main roster wants him right away.
Sure.
Because he's able to sell me he even didn't do his strut fully. He was trying to, but it hurt a little bit, so he was barely doing it down to the ring. Man, he's so friggin' great. And also Jasper Troy really showed me a lot in here. He was able to find certain ways. When Oba does his big, giant, huge palm slap to a guy up on the apron, Jasper Troy rocked back with it, but kept a hold of the top rope and stood up and then hopped down and then hit him with a huge lariat. That also Oba gets to sell and bump for stuff that he never gets to bump for against guys smaller than Jasper Troy. He gets to do like big bumps off of lariats and stuff that he never gets to do before. So like, he's really, they are giving him all of these different, it's the different trials of Hercules or something, where like everything's different. Every monster that you face, every opponent that you face is going to make you do something different, react differently to how they approach you. Like, they're giving him these different kinds of matches to basically challenge him to wrestle the matches differently, to react to how people are wrestling you differently, and he's nailing it every time. Every time I'd be like, well, I don't know. We've never seen him do something like this before. I wonder how he handles it. He just hits it A+.
This is part of why I'm so glad they got away from like multi-man mania with him, because to me it's more telling of a wrestler. A triple threat has an entirely different type of challenge. But like, to me, getting to see a wrestler one-on-one with another guy, you get to just explore more because it's less chaotic. It's the look, for me, this is just me as a fan. One wrestler facing another wrestler in a wrestling match with a really great story beats multi-man matches, beats stipulation matches most of the time, because stipulation matches have so become about the stipulation and not the story. Like, just at its core, person facing person telling in-ring story is, for me, the best. And what was cool, and I agree with you, I think there would have been a benefit if Oba Femi had beat him first, but I think they wanted to say, hey, this guy's the real deal. So I get it. Oba being like the more experienced one is wild. And it was cool because you saw a little bit of that, because Oba gave Jasper Troy a ton because it wasn't an embarrassment to do so, because Jasper Troy's a really, 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 really big guy. So it was kind of like they said, you know, we have this really rare opportunity here to not only put Oba Femi in that situation, but to let someone else have a special type of offense against him. And I thought that was really cool how much like Oba Femi gave as a champion to Jasper Troy, because it really illuminated I think it really established Jasper Troy as a legitimate threat on the show, and the show needs legitimate threats right now. So I agree with you from a story perspective. It would have been great to have that kind of first match where Oba's not compromised, but I also understand the idea here of let's make his first real impression something big.
Sure.
So I loved this match. I thought it was so much fun. I feel like it's kind of like with Gunther, you don't like it to see him in a lot of situations where he's like the underdog. We've never gotten to see Oba as a proper underdog. And seeing this not that far from the Miles Bourne match was really cool to me, because Oba, I think, accomplished similar things in that his opponent looked like he got some real work done in this.
Yeah.
And he was affected by the punishment that he took, but they were in such different ways. Like they were such different matches, but I feel like they were equally as productive as far as putting his opponents a step forward than before they came into the match, which is all you kind of want in a title match, honestly.
Right.
Is the opponent in a better place than they were before. That's what I've loved about this Mercedes run in AEW. I feel like every match she's given, the opponent is in a better place than where they started. I think that's a really important measure of a championship reign. So this was awesome. I had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, there was a very obviously planned spot where Jasper Troy threw Oba into the corner, and the middle turnbuckle was supposed to pop off and didn't, but you could tell it was already loose.
Yeah.
So I was like, do it again. And this time it worked. And they were like, oh my God. And they went to commercial. When they came back to commercial, but they fixed it. Like, it's fine. Just with a little ratchet scent, and then you're fine. And then Oba doing the babyface comeback is really fun. You know what I mean? Because his babyface comeback includes a couch throw. Like that's part of his babyface comeback. You know, babyface comeback for Cena is shoulder block, 5-knuckle shuffle. Like it's the obvious thing. Everyone knows what their comeback is. Somehow he's never done one before because he'd never been put in this position to do one before. But part of his babyface comeback is couch throw.
Yeah.
And it's Jasper Troy's a big dude. He barely got him up, but once he got him up, he got some distance. But this is what I love. The way that the heel cut off the babyface comeback was with this giant boss man slam. It was like couch throw and then immediately boss man slam to counteract the next one. Really great stuff. But it goes to the outside, and Oba just slung him into the barricade, which went like crumbled. It just felt like it was like boom, 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 boom. It was really good. And the problem with the match, and what almost ruined it for me, just call it in the ring, ref. Like, he was supposed to kick out of the first fall from grace.
Yeah.
And he didn't. Just, you don't do the little 1, 2, whoa, and like, oh no, I saw some daylight. That dude did not move his left shoulder.
No.
He didn't. He was supposed to, but he didn't. Call it what you see, because that was a really cool looking fall from grace. It was almost a spine buster. It was like, let me just get you down as hard as I can. The form is off, but I need to win this match. But he had beaten him up sufficiently that first one should have done it.
I agree.
It did, because Jasper Troy could not kick out of it for realsies. And the ref was like, no, but you're supposed to. So get up and take another one. And he did. And then he pinned it 1, 2, 3. So I was like, yeah, just
go home on it.
Just go home on it.
Just go home on it.
If you know Oba Femi is going to win it with the second fall from grace, if the guy doesn't kick out of the first one, yes, he won it with 1. That's enough. That's enough.
What you said is so crucial too, because it's the same guy in the same move,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a situation where like he didn't take enough punishment before that he needed a second one to put him away.
Right.
I understand why it was produced that way, because they're trying to make Jasper Troy. He's he's a monster, right? So him needing
protect him, I
2
get
is
it.
a lot, but he for
But, like,
realsies only needed 1. So.
Oba decided to like Hulk out and just she said, no, you are losing this match. Like this
Correct.
is, you know, I mean, like that was great. Like it was like when he put him down for that first fall for grace, I was like, well, that is it. You are not kicking out of that one. And then they were like, and he didn't. And I was like, the ref's like, but he did though. And I'm like, no, he didn't.
No.
No,
I saw it with my own 2 eyes, man.
So anyway, yeah, I don't know if Hank and Tank are allowed on the show anymore, but it'd be nice if you capitalized on that amazing run they had to get the titles with literally anything for them to do.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a backstage segment with Javon Evans, Miles Bourne. Apparently tonight got the go ahead from Charlie Dempsey. Yes, you can leave the no quarter catch crew. And Javon Evans comes like, that's my guy. Yeah, congratulations. Is he going to the main roster? I've never seen a dude who's not in the faction congratulate a dude for leaving a faction. Like he was like, way to go. You are leaving the faction to go on a singles run. It was as though he had won a title or a number 1 contendership or had been signed to the main roster, the way that Javon Evans reacted to this. And then Tavion Heights is like, I also would like to get congratulated by Javon Evans. Could I face you, Charlie Dempsey? And Charlie Dempsey said no. And then walked away, and Ren Sinclair said, I'll go talk to him. I know how badly you want to get congratulated by Javon Evans as if you're going to the main roster, Tavion. I'll go talk to him. It was a very odd little segment.
It was weird, and I also liked that Charlie Dempsey was like, what are you even doing here? Like, this doesn't concern you at all, weirdo.
Make him into Hijo del Regal. Let's go. Please. I need him to do that. Just make him into that. Where's
you got
William
so
Regal?
lucha-brained. This is the second time you said Hijo or Hija.
It is going to be a thing for me now.
I mean, we would also be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the fact that Mr. Iguana was like had taken a picture with Shawn Michaels and that they ran his vignette. Mm-hmm. We covered Worlds Collide. It was a really good show. Mr. Iguana has taken the world by storm.
Right. Yeah.
So he'll be popping up.
Mr. Iguana and Layeska. You cannot forget about.
It's more, yeah. I remember Luis saying like Layeska and also Mr. Iguana. You know what I mean? It is kind of one of those.
Right. Somebody in the chat saw the picture. Had the pic. We posted the picture of HBK with Layeska and says, "HBK, get your hands off Layeska." And then I wrote, "No means noska." Jambeard says a Santana versus Oba would be fun. It would be fun.
It'd be very fun, but I agree. Like Santana should be getting in position to win the world title in TNA, but at the same time, they really don't care. They showed us that with Joe Hendry, so. But that match would rule.
Yeah. Just Ricardo says today is our 11-year anniversary. Congratulations to Ricardo and Mrs. Ricardo. Would you say today is our 11? It's not our as the SGS. That hasn't been around for that long.
No.
But if it's you and your lovely wife.
Are we married? Am I married to Ricardo? Are you married to Ricardo?
Maybe you're married. Are you married to Ricardo? And I don't know about it.
I don't know about it either. Mm-hmm. But happy anniversary to us or to you guys or whoever.
Right. Mm-hmm. So Jambeard says I wouldn't even take $100 million to do a power slap CTE challenge. So that whole
I hate that that's a thing.
No, please don't do that. Don't.
I hate that that's a thing.
Don't do that. And then Line Drive asks, has Brooks Denson done anything normal and not real world uncomfortable since he left Briggs? I mean, like, I don't know.
I liked what he was doing when he was like loose cannon-y. They just didn't do anything with it. Mm-hmm. I understand
for sure
the dislike of what happened online in real world stuff. I certainly get that. But I also I don't think they've had anything properly followed through on.
Right.
I'll put it that way.
Ryan Chikini says Jasper and Laney seem destined for big things. I will absolutely agree with that.
Heck yeah.
Tom LaValle says Balake Moonroe.
Monroe. Sorry, I was like, what's the last name? There you go.
No. And Orion Ban says, "Hi SGS fam, I want to make an NXT parking lot game for us. Choose your all-time fighter. LOL. Anyway, do we also do a 1960s sitcom theme for the NGS? We could.
We could.
Possible. Yeah. Jimbeard says, I understand that the new name is a tribute to her niece, but how is it that Jade got to keep her name? But Mariah and Ricky changed theirs. Ricky only partly changed his name, just the last part of it. May has easily used her since it was her shoot name. I guess we'll never know. But
I'll say the inconsistency is annoying. Pick one.
Yes.
Go in one direction or the other.
Right.
It gets old.
For sure. All right. So we have reptile puns in honor of Mr. Iguana and La Yesca. Reptile puns. Chris Pereira says Komodo Dragon Lee.
Nice.
Mr. J97 says Snake Monroe. Not Blake Monroe, but Snake Monroe.
Very nice.
Doc Chris Mueller says Gekody Rhodes, Reptilodon, and Prince Iguanana. C. Delgado says Zach Iguana Jr., Lizard Morgan, and Boa Belair.
Very nice.
Matt Gray Sky says Brontosaurus Breaker.
Very good.
Orion Ben says Santino's Cobra la 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 la. I don't know that one. Jambeard says Chameleon Ruff. And Alligator Cease.
Alligator Cease. I love it. Alligator Albright. Hell yeah.
JD Pringle says the sunning on a rockers. Dupongi Vice says the icon. It's Skink.
Very well done.
Rafael Garcia says Tegus Knox and Grandmaster Snexay. I like
very
that.
Nice.
Meet Normus says Reptile Ripley, Gecko Nightingale, and Shining Lizard.
Shining Lizard's really good.
Hit him with a Shining Lizard. I like this one from Megan. The Newt Day.
It's the Newt Day. Yes, it is. Here for it.
I gotta say, Tom LaValle says Miss Elizabeth and Macho Mangrove Monitor Savage. The Line Drive says, as a child of Nick at Night, I appreciate Blake Monroe's love for Bewitched / I Dream of Jeannie era sitcoms, especially because my love for it comes from memories with my late grandma. That's very sweet.
I remember when one of my grandparents was really sick on my mom's side, Leave It to Beaver was like the go-to there. And it was just like very fun to be taken out by something so wholesome of like real life stuff. It's fun to have those core memories, as the kids say.
Yeah. Jambeard says Demolition's Axolotl and Smash.
Axolotl's a really good cut.
RB says, do you smell what the croc is cooking?
Very good.
Mike Schott says Alistair Black Mamba, Ricky Skinks, Tuataraska, Brooks Jensen's Ground Snake, and Solo Sicobra.
Very nice.
Solo Sicobra. Let's see here. 8 Young Nasty Man 8 says Shinsuke Tsuchina Nakamura. I don't know. I cop to not knowing what a Tsuchina is.
That is, neither do I.
Okay, I think. Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. No, here we go. Greg Cherrybrand says Invertebraker, and Metamorphosis.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
This one is
Speaking
the
to my
one
own
you will
heart
not.
on the metaphor there.
This is one you will not get. It's from The Simpsons. Marge Simpson's sister has a pet iguana named Jub Jub. So it's not the Judgment Day; it's the Jub Jub Day. Ha na na ni na na iguana. Ha na na ni na iguana.
I don't like it when I don't get to play.
Meet Norman says Anaconda Vice, Eddie Kingsnake, box-like turtle structure, Boa Leona, Viper Niven, T-Rex Steiner, Cottonmouth of the South, Alexa Hiss, and Final Rattle.
I like that you included like characteristics of reptiles.
It's very good.
Very nice.
Tom the Valley says time flies in the SGS in the best way. Happy 11th. This is not our 11th anniversary.
I know. I feel like I don't know what it was in reference to. 11th month?
I don't know.
Someone like an 11-month member or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I know it's going to be Fightful's 10-year next summer.
That's wild.
Which we got to do like some major blowout for.
Yes.
I hope Jimmy Van is prepared to like do a major anniversary thing, because like I don't think anybody thought this was going to last 10 years. Not even Jimmy Van. And
I don't think people realize. And Sean's been public about this, so I will be too. Like 6-figure debt level of risk to make Fightful happen. Yeah. Jimmy Van took a risk on, and Sean always says like he thought Fightful Select would never work, and I think it's safe to say he was off base in that conclusion.
All right. Yes, we won't dwell on it. If you want, go to Fightful Select and our Raw review. But Jambeard is saying being a Punk fan is getting harder and harder every year since he's been back. The Saudi thing is super disappointing. It is.
I'll just add this because I didn't say it yesterday, where I like cried yesterday behind the paywall. I think there's certainly a possibility that like Seth Rollins takes him out and that match gets moved to SummerSlam, which is a crappy thing to promise that match to the Saudi fans if that happens. And it's also disgusting to use human rights and dangle it as a promotional carrot. I stand by that. One thing that I didn't say was what a lot of people haven't looked into as much is that there is direct propaganda from the Saudi government about Saudi Vision 2030. It's an initiative that they're using to paint Saudi Arabia as a more progressive country than it had been. And perhaps in certain ways it is. There are obviously and certainly ways it is not, if you saw some of the recent footage that Alex alluded to yesterday of their prison just for women and the horrific and unspeakable things that happened there, and the fact that in 2024 they executed more people than they ever have before, not for murder, for being yourself in a lot of situations. So when somebody named CM Punk chooses to participate in a vehicle that is direct propaganda from the Saudi government and directly peddled by WWE. Saudi Vision 2030, I don't know if it still does, but the video packages used to play in the arenas that they're in on breaks and stuff. I don't think you get to call yourself Punk anymore if you're just participating in a vehicle for literal direct government propaganda. And to say I'm not here to defend billionaires in a promo and have that promo turned around to be justifying an indefensible business deal is straight up bullshit. So I, as a CM Punk fan, am very disappointed by it too. And even if it doesn't end up with him going to Saudi for the match, I think to tell the Saudi fans they're getting that match, because it ain't the fault of the fans in Saudi Arabia. And then to take it away from them is pretty fucked up. And I also think to use that as a manipulative tool is really, really, really gross. So no matter how that shakes out, I think it was a pretty reprehensible thing that they did.
for sure. We have jukeboxes now, so we'll end on our silly note.
Talk about flipping a switch.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say this though: 10 years of Fightful. Dan Luis is almost as old as that. Don't remind me of sweet young baby Luis.
Okay. So let's see. The first one we'll do is Jam Beard wants Papa Pawlowski to sing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle theme song from the 80s cartoon. Why wouldn't he? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Heroes in a Half Shell! Turtle Power! Here we go. It's the Lane Green Ninja Team. Well, that's from a different. Is that it? Hold on. That's a different. Hold on. No, TV theme song lyrics, you sons of bitches. I Googled the wrong damn thing. Hold on. What? That doesn't help me. No, there we go. From 1987, not the new one, you dummies. They're the world's most fearsome fighting team. They're heroes in the half shell, and they're green. These turtle boys don't got them. No, what? Hold on. This is you dumb Googles. I can't even get the thing. Okay. When the evil Shredder attacks, these turtle boys don't cut them no slack. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This Splinter taught them to be ninja teens. He's a radical rat. Leonardo leads. Donatello does machines. That's a fact, Jack. Raphael is cool but rude. Give me a break. And Michelangelo is a party dude, don't you know? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, heroes in the half shell, turtle power. So I think Papa Pawlowski was unaware of the fact that there have been multiple TV shows. So you can't just Google Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV show theme.
Sure.
You have to do the original one, but he didn't know to Google that.
I feel like him not knowing how to Google is actually pretty on par with Papa Pawlowski.
It would seem like it actually would make a lot of sense, right? You know,
it's all a part of the show.
C. Delgado says, in honor of someone in the Night of Champions main event, Braun Strowman to sing "Blame It on Your Heart" by Patty Loveless. You got to learn a thing or two and learn about me, baby, because I'm taking it no more, and I don't mean maybe. You don't know right from wrong. Well, the love we had is gone. So blame it on your line cheating, cold, dead beating, two-time double dealing, mean, mistreating, loving heart. But all I want to do was to be your one and only, and all I ever got from you was being lonely. Now that dream is laid to rest because you have failed the test. So blame it on your lying, cheating, cold, dead beating, two-diamond, double dealing, mean, mistreating, loving heart. Get these blood money covered. Wait a minute, I can't say that on the internet. Tom Lavalley wants Regal Rap returns. Ninja Rap from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Let's go.
Let's see if Regal is any better at Googling.
I also have mine when we're ready to go. Whenever you.
Yeah, you'll be next. Yo, it's the Green Machine gonna rock the town without being seen. Have you ever seen a turtle get down, sunshine? Slamming and jamming to the new swing sound. Yeah, everybody, let's move. Vanilla is here with a new jack groove. Gonna rock and roll this place with the power of the Ninja Turtle bass. Iceman, you know I'm not playing. Devastate the show while the turtles are saying, ninja, ninja, rap, ninja, ninja, rap, go, 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 go ninja, go ninja, go, go ninja, go ninja, go, go ninja, go ninja, go, 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 go. War games.
Legendary. Hey, thanks to Jeanette for the soup. Appreciate it.
All right. Nya Girl to sing Snakes on a Plane by Cobra Starship.
Times are strange. We've got a free upgrade for Snakes on a Plane. FM, I don't care. Pop the cheap champagne. We're going down in flames. Oh, I'm ready for it. Come on, bring it. Oh, I'm ready for it. Come on, bring it. Oh, I'm ready for it. Come on, bring it. Oh, I'm ready for it. Come on, bring it. So kiss me goodbye. Honey, I'm not going to make it out alive. So kiss me goodbye. I can see the venom in their eyes. Goodbye. It's time to fly. Tonight, the sky's alive with lizards serpentine lounging in their suits and ties, watching the horse parade for the price of fame. Oh, I'm ready for it. Come on, bring it. 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 Yeah. Thank you so much. Literally just like Temu Kourtney Kardashian, honest to God. But I did we had one via Humper Chat that I sent you. I just want to make sure you saw it.
Yeah. Who's sending that via Humper Chat? Who do I
T Electric Mayhem.
T Electric Man sending a Humper Chat. Dusty, you have access to the private chat. Of course, I got access to everything. I got one of those. Once you're dead, you basically get access to everything. So I am dead, so I do have access.
I mean, I figured if you're able to hack the internet, you should probably be able to see our private chat. So that makes sense.
This is a Humper Chat from T Electric Mayhem. Who wants? I want to take you higher by Sly and the Family Stone. Of course, Sly Stone dead recently. If the cruise ship gets over toward musicians heaven, then maybe I will get to shake his hand. But here we go. Beat is getting stronger. Music getting longer too. Music is a flash in me. I want to take you higher. I want to take you higher. Baby, light my fire. I want to take you higher. Boom laka, boom laka, goo, like a boom, duck, boogaloo, boom. Hey. Beat is nitty gritty. Sound is in your city too. Music is still flashing me. Don't you want to get higher, baby daddy? Don't you want to get higher, baby, daddy, light my fire. I want to take you higher. That's high times. Not hard times, but high times.
Thank you for clarifying, Dusty. We appreciate it.
Jambi had said, Dusty to sing Here I Go Again by Whitesnake. Again, in honor of Mr. Iguana and the Alaska.
Of course.
I don't know where I'm going, but I sure know where I've been, baby. Hang on the promises of youngs of yesterday, and I made up my mind. I ain't wasting no my time. Here I go again. Though I keep on searching for an answer, I never seem to find what I'm looking for, baby. Oh, Lord, I pray you give me the strength to carry on, because I know what it means to walk along the lonely street of dreams, if you will. And here I go again on my own, going down the only road I never known, like a drifter, like Elias, the drifter. I was born to walk alone, and I made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. Thank you. That's it.
Oh, thank you.
I'm
thank you so much.
More than that. That's enough.
That's very fair. That's very fair.
All right. Well,
we appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you very much. All right. I'm gonna go now. Back to the great beyond. Bye.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Hello.
Hello. Richard Rainbow.
Rafael Garcia says, jukebox request. Ricky Rainbow sings I Believe in a Thing Called Love by The Darkness.
You're not very dark. You have a lot of bright colors in your hair.
I've got a lot of bright colors. Here we are. And here we go. Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel. My heart's in overdrive and you're behind the steering wheel. Touching you, touching me, touching you, God, you're touching me. I believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of my heart. There's a chance we can make it now. We rock until the sun goes down. I believe in a thing called love. Ooh. I want to kiss you every minute, every hour, every day. You got me in a spin, but everything is A-okay. I believe in a thing called love, etc. Thank you. JW Pringle. For Pride.
That was beautiful. That was quite a performance.
Ricky Rainbow to sing Rainbow Connection.
Love that for us.
How are you doing? I'm not just trying to fill time while I Google. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I'll know the wrong way and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered? When wished on the morning star, somebody thought of that, someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? What do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it. The rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Thank you.
Such a performer today, Ricky.
I don't know. Maybe I'm feeling extra prideful.
I love that. I love that. Very authentic tonight.
Well, that's
The
it.
connection. All right. Well, I don't know if you'll be here tomorrow, but Alex and I will be back here tomorrow doing the AEW post show late night edition. So we look forward to seeing you guys for that. And other than that, I'll just say keep cool, gabagools.
I could have said that.
You still can. You can wish them the same.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what super chat? What? Did you send one, Alpha Bill? Did we miss it?
Oh no.
Did you send the super chat and we missed it? Alpha Bill.
Oh, we don't do sour chats tonight. We do sour chats. We just do regular humper chats tonight if it's a sour chat.
Well,
what pun was it? We'll call it out, Alpha Bill. We can end on a pun.
Meet Normus says, Bearded Dragon Brian Danielson, Jamie Dana, Snake Monroe, Python Callis, Diamondback Dallas Page, Prince Iguana, Stephanie Viper, and Copperhead of the Table.
Very nice. Very nice. Respect.
Keep cool, gabagoos.
Yeah.